Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. Today, we are going to be discussing how you can make a ton of gold still within 9.1 without any type of legendaries. Now recently, myself and other people have been talking a lot about legendaries and the potential that legendaries have, especially with the release of vestiges that are now obtainable ever since this past reset, and lots of people have always been hyping up legendaries, and that is not false hype. I still believe that legendaries are insanely good, and most of my gold right now are indeed coming from them. However, not everybody is able to go through legendaries, and also not everybody wants to babysit the auction house. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all the different ways on how you can still make gold without legendaries, and of course show you my profits. Now before I get started, these are not necessarily new ways of gold making. All of these I have probably already stated and talked about in the past, but they are just very, very good right now, which I will state why, but it's really just because the new raid is out. There has been a reset, a lot of people are more active, and yeah, so we are going to get right into this video and enjoy. So the first thing that we're going to be highlighting is Inscription. Now recently I feel like Inscription hasn't been talked insanely amount, and that's just because Inscription is one of those professions that don't have anything to do with legendaries. There are no legendaries that you can level up or anything like that, which is why it just hasn't really been talked about. So the first thing, which is probably one of the biggest things that people are going to be doing, are Missives. Now Missives have been in the game ever since the beginning, and what their purpose is to add stats into either crafted armor or legendaries themselves. If you are a player that is crafting a legendary, you do have to pick up 2 Missives as well as the base legendary in order to do your crafting at the rune carver. So every person that is buying 1 piece of legendary gear, they are also buying 2 Missives, which is why right now Missives are very, very good. Not only is the demand up, but I have noticed that on most servers, the Missive price has also increased. Before 9.1, the Missives kind of were around the 300 to 400 gold mark. They were pretty low and they were not profitable. However, I have now seen them around the 600 and 800 gold mark, and on some servers, I have even seen it above 1,000. And that's just for people resetting. Now, of course, herbs and everything has been reset as well, so this is going to be very good if you do already have stocked up materials. However, when prices fall, you can definitely scoop some up and you'll want to be crafting these Missives. If you think about it, everybody is going to be needing to recraft their best in slot legendary, and in the meantime, everybody is going to have to pick up 2 Missives as well in order to attach them to those legendaries. So Missives are probably one of the biggest things that you can do right now. And moving on, what we have is Dark Moon decks. Now Dark Moon decks, the reason why these are not falling behind is because of their item level. If you guys do not know, Dark Moon decks are BOE trinkets, and they are eye level 200, which is perfect for Korthia. When you are starting the questline for Korthia, the items that are going to be dropping is eye level 200. So if you have a fresh alt that wants to get into Korthia and it's starting, it's a pretty fresh level 60 and it has a pretty bad item level, if you just pick up a Dark Moon deck or 2 of them, equip them, and you already have eye level 200 trinkets, and that can definitely boost your item level and your strength going into Korthia. So just like the Crafter's Marks 3 gear, which is the eye level 200 gear that a lot of people are buying up right now for their fresh level 60s, our Dark Moon deck is basically just the trinket equivalent of Crafter's Marks 3 gear. So crafting these are definitely going to be very, very beneficial. Last thing we have on the Inscription list are tomes. Now, tomes of illusion are needed to change talents, so whether you are a mythic player, a raider, even if you're just somebody doing dungeons for fun and you like to change talents around depending on what type of content you are doing, these tomes are very, very useful. Now, I've seen personally on my server, they used to be around the 350 mark and now they are around the 600 mark, so they have almost doubled in price over the last week or so. And generally, they are pretty easy to make because you only need Death Blossom milled, and that's going to get you your basic inks in order to craft these. So these 3 items, we have the decks, we have the Missives, and we have the tomes, are going to be a great way to utilize Inscription, especially during this week when the raid release is just out. Now keep in mind, with all of these things I'm going to be talking about, herb prices and general raw material prices are insane right now. every Tuesday, every Wednesday, whatever reset is for your region, the prices are always going to be reset and they're always going to be very, very high. In order to make profit, or at least maximize your profit, you definitely want to look after, on maybe that Friday, Saturday time, maybe Sunday or Monday if you're EU, just kind of that later time in the week and look for some good deals. Sometimes Death Blossom can go from 35 gold on a Tuesday in NA, and it can go back down to 6 gold by Friday. So definitely make sure you watch the auction house, pick up any materials that you see cheap, even if you don't need them right at that current moment. I bet you will need them within the next week. So definitely picking up cheap materials is the best way to utilize this and make the most of your profit. And also do keep in mind that my spreadsheet, which is my WoW vendor shuffle spreadsheet, which has Dark Moon deck calculators, Missive calculators, alchemy, cooking, everything that we're going to be talking about. There is a calculator on that spreadsheet. It'll be in the description below, but that is Inscription, and we are going to move on to Enchanting. So Enchanting has also made me a ton of gold recently. The big things are just tenants and fortified enchants. And the reason for that is because everybody is leveling up, everybody is getting new gear, new item levels, and that means a fresh piece of gear needs a fresh enchant. So whether you are running Korthia, running Mythics, or running the raid, you are guaranteed to probably get a better piece than what you have already. And whenever you pick up a better piece of gear, you are also going to have to get a new enchant to enchant that said piece of gear. So these enchants are flying off the shelves for me. Each enchant only has about a 50 to 100 gold profit, which doesn't seem insanely huge. However, selling 50 of them, that's 5,000 gold profit. So these enchants, which are only, giving 50 gold profit or 100 gold profit, selling a lot of them, which I am doing, it adds up very quickly. Now, like I stated before, my favorites are the tenants. I see a lot of sales with the tenants, and also I see a lot of profit with them, but also the fortified leech and the other fortified one are definitely my second runner-up. There's also the Eternals, which aren't very good on my server personally. However, if you can craft them with a profit, I definitely would throw them up on the auction house. You, of course, have the Hearthstone and the Gathering enchants, which you can always post if it's profitable as well. The next thing with enchants is the enchanted goods. Now this is simply just a very easy flip that you can do no matter the time. Right now it's especially good if you can buy cheap soul ash and you can buy cheap lightless silk, for example. As long as you have the time to sit there and craft, 400 enchanted lightless silk, you can easily just buy and then sell it right back to the auction house for a very, very good profit. So enchanted goods have always been a very easy flip to do. Of course, you have to make sure you buy those materials cheap, and you have to sell them for a profit, but as long as you have the time to sit there and craft, it's definitely very good, no matter what type of player you are. The next thing we have is alchemy and cooking. Now, I group these together due to the fact that they both kind of have the same purpose, which is people who are running mythics, current content, or raids, or, just the general mega dungeon or anything like that. They need potions, they need food, they need feast. Now, the reason for this is, of course, because they want to make sure they have the best stats they are for whatever content piece that they are doing, and to do that, they either need healing, so they need their potions, they need to up their strength, up their intellect, or, of course, get that little food buff that you can do, and, of course, you gotta feed your raid party with the feast. So alchemy and cooking is especially very good right now. Potion price hasn't been too crazy on my server. I mean, in the past, I have sold potions anywhere between 400 and 600 gold, and currently on my realm, it's about 550 gold. Now, because I do have stocked up herbs from previously before the patch, I have my crafting cost at about 300 or less than 300 crafting cost, so I'm selling potions around the 550 mark, which is about 200 gold profit per potion that I'm selling. Now, if I were to buy herbs right now and sell them just straight, crafting them and selling them on the auction house, the potions, now I will probably only see about a 20 to 40 gold profit per, just because of the inflated price of herbs. However, once again, find those cheap herbs, pick them up, craft those potions, and make sure you sell them at a profit. But the best potions that I've had luck for is the power flasks, as well as the spectral strength and intellect potions. Phantom fires have also been pretty alright, but I've seen that price be very volatile on my server. So those are probably my top 3 favorites, but any potions, as long as it makes profit, will always be good to sell, because at the end of the day, everybody needs a stat increase, so definitely just sell what you can sell. And then with cooking, all of the large meals are very good. The ones that I sell the most are the crown roast, just because they are probably one of the most popular among classes. However, all of the large meals are very, very good. And then of course you have the 2 feast as well. Recently, I have not sold a lot of Feast because I personally did not stock up on fish, which I should have, but I didn't really think about it, so Feast right now are not that profitable due to the inflated prices, but maybe you have fish lying around, maybe the prices aren't that insane and you can craft them. So, large meals, Feast, potions, they are very, very good for all the new current content players. So the second to last item that we have to talk about is actually incorporated into 4 different professions. So blacksmithing, leatherworking, jewelry crafting, and tailoring can all utilize this, which is just simply novice gear. Now, you guys of course know that Crafter's Marks 3, as well as the Crafter's Marks of the Chain Isle, is now available with 9.1. However, these do not replace novice gear. The reason for this is the Crafter's Mark 3 and the Isle Crafter's Marks are for level 60s only. They are only equipable if you are level 60, which means novice gear is not being replaced. If you guys did not know, these novice Crafter's Marks are creating pieces of gear that are available for fresh level 50s. So if you have a fresh alt going into Shadowlands, you would buy this novice gear to equip. So novice gear is not being replaced due to the fact that they are the only Crafter's Marks that lowers the level requirement and makes it available for the fresh level 50s coming into Shadowlands. So novice gear is not leaving anytime soon. If you have a fresh level 50, novice gear is still the best thing to buy for that character, so these are not going away. So as long as you have blacksmithing, leatherworking, or tailoring, you can of course make all of the capes, you can make the heads, the helmets, the shoes, all of that. And if you have jewelry crafting, you could craft the necks and the rings, which are all equipable for those fresh level 50s. And then, like I just stated before, Crafter's Marks 3 and the Chained Isle are going to be very, very beneficial as well. People so far have been able to sell, Crafter's Marks 3 items for 20k each, 50k each, and I had somebody on my Discord even sell a piece for 70k, and I believe that was a Chained Isle piece. So if you do have the time to get the reputation, which for Crafter's Marks 3, you do need Honored with Death's Advance, and with the Chained Isles, you need Tier 4 in the Archivist Codex. If you do have the time, or you end up having that reputation, picking these up will also be amazing. Now, the last little thing that I'm going to be mentioning is not really a profession, however, it is just a task, which is flipping. Now, flipping can be anything, whether it's old world materials, whether it's Shadowlands materials, herb, or it does not matter, you can flip anything, all you have to do is buy low and then sell high. However, one thing I do want to mention is Quartzite crystals. Myself and other people that I've noticed on Discords have been flipping these specifically. Now, what I personally have done on my medium pop server, I have been buying crystals about the 4,400 mark, and whether it's me or somebody else, they reset that price to about the 5,800 mark, and then I can sell these crystals back. If I do not need them to craft myself, then I'm just selling them back, and I'm making over 1,000 gold profit once they sell. I've seen many other people do this on higher pop realms, but of course, instead of buying at that 4,800 mark, they are buying, let's say, at that 2,200 mark, and they're selling it back at 3,200 instead of 5,800. So, of course, all prices are different on each server, so you know what's low for your server and you know what's high for your server, but buying low and then selling high whenever it gets reset or gets bought out by another crafter is very good. The reason this is specifically really good right now is the fact that these crystals are in a very, very volatile state. This is the second day, well, I guess when you're seeing this, this is either the third day on NA or the second day on EU that you are actually able to use these crystals. This whole other week, they have been unusable because vestiges have not been unlocked, so finally people are taking the time to actually buy them and are finally using them to craft. So these crystals have been flying off the shelves. I've seen them drop super, super low, and then within seconds they're back up, way above than I've ever seen them before. So checking out on Quartzite crystals, they are a little bit of a hefty investment. However, if you are sitting on the gold, definitely even buying 5, waiting for them to go up, selling those 5, you can still make some profit. So that is what I would say to look out for. So that is basically it for my recommendations. Now at the start of this, I did say that I was going to talk about my sales, so there will be pictures of my ledger on the screen right now, and I am currently recording this on July 7th at 9:30 p.m. and this is when that screenshot is taken. So as you can see, in the last 3 days, I have made 1.5 million gold worth of sales, which is nothing spectacular. However, in 3 days, that's averaging about 500,000 per day, which is good. And this is including legendaries. So now if we move on to the next one, as you can see, in the past 3 days, I have made 345k, and this is not including legendaries. So as you can see, it is a significant drop. I have lost about 1.2 million gold in sales, but that is just because I have highly been focused on legendaries. I've done a lot of investment into it. However, 300 or over 300k in 3 days is still really, really good. And I mean, the mailbox is still growing as we speak. So making about 120, 110,000 gold per day. Of course, that is not all profit. However, it is a good chunk of sales. And of course, looking at the screenshot, you can see that it is novice gear, Dark Moon decks, potions, tomes, gems, anything like that, and it is all non-legendary stuff. So either you didn't join the legendary gang or anything like that because you either couldn't, you didn't want to, or it just wasn't the right time for you, and there's still plenty of other ways to make gold. But yeah, guys, that is basically it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys haven't already, be sure to check out my Discord. You can find all of my free groups on there for TSM. You can also just join the amazing community we have. Ask me personally any questions you have, or just ask the community, and they are always down to help you out. Also, I live stream 4 days a week, so be sure to check that out if you are a Twitch viewer, and you can come say hi. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything that you're looking forward to, and let me know what your favorite part of 9.1 is so far. And always, have a good day.